I'm going to answer all questions with two hats on. One as a psychologist, currently working in clinical practice, but having also spent almost 20 years in corporate, working at various levels all the way up to a global head of department in a bank. And as an entrepreneur myself, I've started my clinic 10 years ago, self-funded, it grew organically, and today it stands on its own 2 feet. So I have both a technical and a personal experience, which I want to use to inform my answers.
Beautiful.
The first thing I would say is that the impact is very much dependent on the type of personality and the personality traits that an individual brings to entrepreneurship. For those of you who have been entrepreneurs or are entrepreneurs, you would know that there's a lot of rejection in everything that we do, either in potential partners or suppliers or projects that don't particularly go the way we expect, plans that don't deliver as per our desired objectives. There's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of quote unquote failure, and I put it in quote for a purpose, that we need to deal with. And there are people who have personality traits that make it more applicable for them to deal with kind of rejections. So that's the first point. Resilience and the ability to bounce back when these rejections keep showing up is also another important trait that one may or may not have in varying degrees of intensity, which would therefore create a different impact of the entrepreneurial experience. As we've heard from Sebastian, there's a lot of uncertainty on so many aspects of the journey, whether it is regulatory aspects, whether it's market conditions, whether it's funding situations, whether it's employees and operational issues, but there's a constant question mark on everything. And so people who are able to deal with uncertainty in a much more relaxed and peaceful manner fare better. The engagement with others is also very important. An entrepreneur, no man is an island, no woman is an island, as the statement goes, and entrepreneurs need people around them in order to succeed in their endeavors. So whether we are more personally inclined to build relationships or to hide in the lab, so to speak, we would also have different impact in the entrepreneurship experience. And the final one that I would highlight is our ability to manage energy. I thought I worked a lot when I was in corporate as a global head of department until I started my clinic, and then I realized it's a 24/7 kind of endeavor. So depending on how you fare naturally from a personality point of view on some of these variables, and clearly there is a lot more, you would have a more or less intense impact. At the worst end of the spectrum, I have worked with clients who were battling with suicidal thoughts, in one case even suicide attempt, because of the issues emerging from their entrepreneurial endeavor. Thankfully, I'm happy to report that at least in my clinical sample, that extreme is the exception more than the commonality. But in between, there is a wide range of mental health and emotional conditions that have wide-ranging impact. Sebastian has mentioned depression, has mentioned stress, has mentioned anxiety, all things that have the potential to impact not only our ability to operate and be effective entrepreneurs, but certainly also our ability to relate to others, to lead, to delegate, to make clear decisions, to make timely decisions, all things that ultimately have a kind of a feedback loop effect with the entrepreneurial experience, and therefore either aiding us in having a better experience and more success, or slowing us down and further impacting us negatively.